38 minutes, so they aren't afraid. It looks like actually we got skipped out here on our ban. So to start things off, LGD, they're going to ban away the Malzahar, the Tom Kench, and the Ornn for SNG, getting rid of the Kog'Maw, the Sejuani, and the Azir. So leaving up that Jarvan, but LGD, they say, hey, we know you like that Zoe pick. We're going to go ahead and take it away from you.
It's pretty much the exact same bans as last time, and they do pick up that Kalista that Fury spent both of his last 2 games on. But they pick up the Jarvan nice and early here. They want to try and at least get some value trade-off, knowing that they can't get the Zoe, and LGD smartly taking that one away.
So for LGD, now coming through, they're going to go ahead, lock in the Braum, and something that we've been seeing a little bit more of is the Varus for Imp.
So you can see from these 2 picks, you can death ball around level 6 in that bot lane, and try and pressure out, and that this is a very strong pick into the Zoe matchup. It's the LeBlanc. We were able to dash around those Sleepy Trouble bubbles. You can predict a lot of her damage incoming and be able to dash away. Even if she does hit the Sleepy Trouble bubble, you're able to use the ultimate to get the clone on top of you to block the damage. And it can be very useful in that sense to just try and stay alive. Her assassination potential is mitigated so heavily against the LeBlanc.
I just like seeing LeBlanc because it usually means the mid laners are going to be either roaming or they're going to be looking to make plays early, and that's kind of what the meta has been a bit lacking as of late. A lot of teams, like I mentioned, 38 minutes roughly for the game times. SNG, in their last couple of them, have been looking to try and scale, and that's kind of been what the meta has shifted into, at least here in the LPL. People are looking to just play safe for the first 15 to 20 minutes, farm up, and then look for those explosive fights. With a LeBlanc, you have that opportunity to make roams around the map if you're not getting pushed in, and I feel like Yuki, he's either going to have to decide to try and stay in the lane against Knight or look to try and answer some of these roams. Now into our ban phase for the second time, it's going to be the Zac and the Kha'Zix getting taken away by SNG. Meanwhile, LGD getting rid of that Vladimir that SNG has been enjoying, and the Taric.
I actually really like this pick of the Shen here because it is a flex pick between top and support. It means you can try and get the best matchup possible for your top laner, but also the ability to just play Shen support and have that real point of strength, where it shuts down a lot of what Braum and Braum wants to do, because Braum's about blocking the auto attack damage. You can just taunt him and make him completely irrelevant for those few seconds of the fight, and I'm really excited to see how well this can be utilized. But a nice, interesting pick here for Amy. We've talked about the Lee Sins in China quite a lot. The Flawless showing up, and multiple Lee Sins that have been highlight reel, and we're going to see another one here, Amy. But important to note, Amy has had the lowest damage per minute of any any player other than a support so far in the LPL.
Well,
so he's going to be really looking to try and make up for that on this Lee Sin.
Especially because this is the kind of meta you want to try and make some plays early, because if you can get that advantage for your team, it can really help out, especially when you're on a Lee Sin. You're going to be looking to get some damage in those numbers. I was interested to see whether or not LGD were actually going to put that Camille into the jungle. We've seen it pop up a couple times. It's been a little bit popular in the solo queue, but instead going to run it up in the top lane, and it would not be the LPL. Oh, I'm quite. Oh, this is actually not on our end. That is actually on the end of the LPL stream. That little bit of a graphics issue, but
so you can see the browser.
Yeah, I was a little confused there. I was like, I'm not too sure exactly how that's set up, but okay. Anyway, the one thing we didn't get to mention there before our champ select got taken away from us was that Jax getting locked in for SNG.
We mentioned briefly how Zhao Al was the focus of the gold, and he got around 25% of the gold percentage for his team, the highest in the team, and he ended up showing up really strong, got 8 kills in one game on the Vladimir. So putting him in this carry position again, where he's going to be going toe-to-toe with this Camille, you can expect they're going to give him a lot of support, and the LeBlanc is going to be looking to try and push mid and roam around this. But with the Shen able to ult top lane as well to help him out in those sticky situations, that's something the top laner never expects. The ability for the support Shen to ult to their lane. It's kind of that revenge for support players, knowing that it's always the Shen coming to their lane. Now it's the other way.
Now, I'm a bit interested as we load on into Rift for the game 1 here. of the series gonna have part of me, guys. I'm getting back to being used to be able to talk loud. It's already messing me up a little bit here. No more bathroom casts for the both of us, hopefully. For SNG, even though they did win their games, when I check out the matchup between them and Top, was they actually had a pretty low amount of wards placed. Sure, they were able to clear out some wards, but early vision here could be a key advantage for LGD if they're able to place it down early.
But the tail of that game was, it was the bloodiest game so far in the LPL. 36 kills in 41 minutes. Constant fighting, and the ward control was really what led to that real scrappiness, where because of the low vision control, there was always somebody face checking, there was always somebody walking directly into a ward and then getting caught out, and that's really what Suning want to be doing. Just trying to deathball as this 5-man unit where they can get around the mid-game, really good fights for them, and start snowballing an advantage to the later stages.
Well, you got to see that fan vote there over in China. 49% for LGD and then 51% for Suning Gaming. So able to just squeeze out a little bit of that fan vote. We'll have to see whether or not, though, they can perform here in Game 1 in the LGD arena. And like we've mentioned before, LGD, they're looking to try and strike back after that first series loss. It's a little embarrassing to open up this brand new venue and then get perfect games. So I want to see if the mentality of the players is able to adjust and try and fight back in this series.
And it's definitely wanting to try and make up for lost time, having dropped that series already.
He's going down super low. The flash comes through, and that's going to be Fury with the Ren to pick up first blood for SNG, as Impy was a little too far over, and that is not the start you want to have if you're LGD.
And the reputation already preceding them, as early fighting is the tail of this game, and in mid lane as well, some big trading. But it's such an aggressive game already.
You can see Tian already looking to invade into this jungle. Emmy did clear out his top pretty early, and pings are coming on through. They might look to make a play up here on top, as Zhao is going to go on in with the counter-strike. Does get the stun down, but looks like Tian is deciding against it. It's just going to go ahead and counter jungle a little bit, but ping's coming up here. A lot of control up toward this top lane.
It's definitely what we expected to see, just like the support towards the top lane, investing resources in making sure Zhao Al is going to be as comfortable as possible, but with Tian already heading up here this early, looking to see if he could start getting him snowballing.
Well, you did see it. Juno instead is able to just slingshot easily away there, as no issues. It's a Camille. Lots of safety already into the kid, and unless you're able to get that stun early, which is telegraphed by the Jax, it's pretty hard. I wanted to kind of look at the runes here, because I find it interesting with Jax in particular. A lot of players have been liking to run this Kleptomancy, and it does help out in the lane. You can see already picked up 3 consumables for himself, got himself some extra gold, and these quick early trades are going to allow him just to get little tiny advantages, and already the CS lead starting to build as Janao is now underneath his tower looking to clear these out.
It fits in so well with his trading pattern, having the having that Kleptomancy, being able to pop W and get that auto attack to empower the with the Kleptomancy proc and get that extra gold, being able to pop the Q and get the same effect because you want to Q in an auto. It's just everything seems to be like he wants to pop a spell and instantly auto attack afterwards. So being able to get that extra value out of that with the Kleptomancy and help him scale quicker into that late game where he can be that big 1v3, 1v4 monster is what is really made Jax more of a prominent pick in this meta.
You saw the triple pandas coming across the screen. We will be looking at the LPL side here in Game 2, guys, so do not worry too much. As
has it sorted itself out?
I don't know. I'll have to double check. We'll check during the break. But PYL and Imp, after that early first blood going on over to their opponents, are going to be looking to play themselves a little bit back, maybe hoping for some support from this Lee Sin, because now you hit that level 4, only a couple more minutes until you hit the level 6, hopefully trying to make an impact in the lanes, but already LGD, now they find themselves down 1,000 gold at 5 minutes.
It's definitely not the situation you want to be in, but the early pressure that Suning has had and the way they've played around this Kalista pick has been working out rather well, and being able to get that first blood to be able to try and give her the advantage she needs come the mid game very impressive, especially against the early game of a champion like Braum.
You can still see. We don't talk too often. The Shen has kind of become pretty common in the bot lane. A lot of players have been really loving these high engaged melee supports that are looking for the early trades, trying to get some early kills, and goes kind of in line though with a lot of safety. You see the double relic shield on both sides because just overheal at the moment is just busted, it seems, as far as the runes go. I loved how everybody, when the runes came out, everyone's like, you gotta take Triumph or else you're trolling there. As you do see the clone coming out from Knight to try and maybe cause some mayhem up in the top lane. Xiao, he's just gonna go ahead and get a quick trade.
They could see the LeBlanc in mid lane, so it wasn't something they had to be too afraid of. But now, LeBlanc getting a big trade on it, but going in.
Flashes on in with the chains. That is going to force the flash out of Yuki. Emmy has made his way into the mid lane. Tian and him also trading. The flag drag not going to land. Damage went on through, but the knock-up didn't. You do have the Sleepy Trouble Bubble across the wall. So LGD, it looked like they had an opportunity, but SNG, they're just slowly getting more and more advantages across the map. I feel like a lot of this gold already started to pile onto this Jax because he hasn't been really punished for this pick. He's pushing in underneath the tower at this point, and I'm interested to see how LGD look to react, but you see SNG, they're getting down this deep vision. They want to go for another play. Fury on the Callista, getting the Ren stacks. The stun comes on through. That's a second kill here for the ADC of Suning Gaming. Imp, he's trying to get a couple of auto attacks on through, but there's absolutely nothing he can do, and this is starting to look already a little bit unsettling if you're an LGD fan.
This comes off of the play that they made mid lane, where they were able to pressure out Zoe and Amy, knowing that those two would not be able to follow up on the play, and the LeBlanc had the priority on the mid lane push. They could roam down and help set up that pick, and that's going to be another kill going onto the Callista already this early. Is going to be quite devastating come that mid game, like we talked about. Once the Blade of the Rune King is available, once you start stacking up those items, because that's where she is the strongest, in those fights around objectives where you can secure the objective so easily, or you can just throw your support in to be able to get those big engages.
And Fury, he is kind of a big factor when it comes into SNG. He has, I believe, the highest kill participation on the team. So these team fights he's going to be looking for later on. He's going to be roaming around the map. They're going to be grouping up and fighting around this Callista. Going to use that ultimate to just throw the Shen on in and land some taunts. And it's not going to give a whole lot of options here for Imp, because the only kind of disengage you have is this Lee Sin that can kick away the Shen running on through. But that's not what you want to be using it for.
So we've talked a little bit about the Shen thus far, as we see Avi just try to come in and steal away this blue buff. But one of the strengths that we alluded to a lot earlier is the ability to have that extra roaming potential around the map. You can be the support that's then helping with the mid lane engage. You can be ulting on top of a Jarvan, ganking a Zoe. You can be ulting on top of Jax while he's taking a rough trade in the top lane and looks at risk. And it's something that not many people are expecting, because you see a Shen in the top lane, you predict it.
Well, Yuki is going to get the Cataclysm on down on top of him, and guess what? The stopwatch is actually used by Tian, and Knight will just easily pick up the kill. And at the moment, it seems like Suning Gaming are just on a different page as far as the playbook is, because LGD, they just feel like they keep falling behind.
Yeah, Tien playing pretty well in terms of his positioning around the map right now. We saw how well he was able to dissuade Amy from going top lane by invading early, getting vision down, taking away the camps, so there's no need for the Lee Sin to be top lane because he has no camps there. Therefore, he can't relieve the pressure for Camille without going up to the top side where he has no camps, just to pull off a gank that may not even be successful, losing a lot of his bottom side jungle, a lot of his pressure across the map, without really much gain at all.
Well, you can look at the vision across the mini-map. You can see LGD, they have very minimal ward coverage. It's only in the river and at their tri-brush. They even warded toward the blasting cone of SNG, but guess what? That bot lane is already ahead. They don't need help from the jungler. Xiao going aggressive again up in that top lane on this Jax. Also has his phage now complete, so He's starting to get himself.
We'll be getting that Triforce. Yeah.
Once he gets that Triforce, he's going to be scary because look at the members here. LGD are pretty squishy when you look at it across the board. And honestly, if you're Imp, you're going to maybe try and look for a play. That's going to be the Chains of Corruptions coming on through. They do land the stun onto Yoon, but he's still pretty tanky at this point. Has that Sightstone for the extra health on top of the Relic Shield upgrade. Not going to be doing a whole lot of damage to the Shen. Emmy might be coming on down, but he's spotted out by the deep vision of SNG.
And they're just going to be able to back off after having cleared this wave and not worry about him at all. And this is really the pressure they've had on the map, where it just feels like the Lee Sin hasn't been able to have any early game impact.
You can see here, though, Knight is going to have some assistance from the Jarvan, and guess what? The Qs don't land. It looks like they're just going to flash on over, and Yuki is just getting bullied on the Zoe, but here comes that Shen ultimate, and guess what? The tower is not going to take down the Jarvan. Yoon's going to land the taunt, and just like that, Knight picks up his second kill. SNG, I feel like the plays are just coming a lot more cleaner, and LGD, they're trying to make stuff happen, but it isn't, like, just look at this in the mid lane.
LGD just making their opponents look better, but the Shen ult, no one expects the support Shen, and the stopwatch, just going to be an easy pick up there, and another kill onto Knight. Knight snowballing ahead so effectively as well, and now he's got this gun lead completed. He's going to be able to have such a large assassination potential, picking up those cooldown boots as well to make sure he can get that extra ability to not only combo, but roam around the map. You can use that W to be able to get that little bit of extra speed, getting over walls. And that's really what Suning want to be doing. We talked about how bloody they play as a team. They want to constantly skirmish, constantly force plays, and that's what they've been doing so effectively in this early game.
And that's how you kind of, this is the champion you want to take into a Zoe, because honestly, she has no way of getting away from the LeBlanc if you land the chain. Honestly, if you just W into her minion wave and she's standing next to it, you can just get a quick trade, get about a third of her health, because honestly, you can see, already building the Merc treads to try and be able to take some of this damage, but it doesn't really matter.
Put it this way though.
Yeah.
Zoe is building the Merc threads against the matchup for once. It's not the other way around, and that shows you the pressure that LeBlanc has, and especially being at this scoreline already, you can understand the pressure she is just exuding into this mid lane. Not only that, this pressure will be spilling over to the rest of the map in just a matter of time, and you got to expect that this Jax lane has to be on her mind.
Well, let's see. Winter's Bite is not going to land. Chain of Corruption is popped, but the rest of the team is following on over. Here comes Fury on the Callista. The Cataclysm keeps them contained, and the knockups follow on through. SNG are just decimating LGD in their jungle. That's 3 members taken down, and they also secure the red buff. This is just getting out of control here at the 13-minute mark.
8-0 at 13 minutes, playing absolutely insane so far, and this is going to be what looks like a fairly easy game thus for Suning Gaming. And they're going to be picking up this dragon as well, not looking to give over any objectives at all.
And we talked about, you know, Knight on this LeBlanc. We expected him, hey, maybe he's going to try and push in the lane, maybe make some roams. But honestly, he hasn't needed to. His bot lane has won on their own. They barely got the help from this Jarvan. Honestly, they focused a lot toward the LeBlanc with the jungle matchup, and it feels like LGD, they just got no way of answering this for the next at least 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you can see it here. They managed to lock them in the Cataclysm, use that Callista ultimate just to keep them in place, and while the spears stacked up, there was nothing they could do. Another easy, clean couple of kills for the side of Suning Gaming, and this is what we talked about. It's nearing that mid-game point where they just want to be constantly looking for picks, and they've managed to get such an advantage before this phase of the game, crucially.
You're talking about advantages, 6,500 gold before 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If I look at their
I was expecting that around sort of the 20-minute mark. Because normally with this sort of composition, you'd be starting to have pressure around now. To have had this much pressure in the early game means that their point of strength is only amplified.
Like, they're going pretty hard here. LGD, they just don't really have an answer for this. Yuki on the Zoe will have to maybe try and find some Sleepy Trouble bubbles that can turn around a fight, or maybe catch out a member. That might be the one opportunity, but We haven't even talked about this Jax that has been left unchecked. You haven't seen the Lee Sin come up ever toward this top lane. Finally showing himself because LGD, they said, hey, you know what? We're just going to try and do a lane swap. Maybe we need to put some more gold onto Imp, and that allows their bot lane to get pushed in by SNG. Fury and Yoon, they don't care there's a Camille up here trying to defend this.
It's just going to be a free tower. Unfortunately, the lane swap was executed far too slow, and now they're being punished for it.
That Cataclysm's going to lock him down, and that's going to be the kill. Going on over to Tian, and down in bot lane, the tower is also taken. The Shen came on through with the shield. Knight has made his way on over. PYL forced to flash away, and Fury is 1v1ing the Camille. Yuki, though, is able to save him.
And Yuki turning up at the crucial timing. That Rend was almost ready to be able to finish her off. But it's not going to mean anything, and they do get the tower, they do get the kills in the top lane as well, but he's still giving up that shutdown gold onto the Camille, who needs to be able to 1v1 that Jax. That they needed that kind of pressure back into the game, and at least they've managed to stop themselves from getting perfect games.
Well, Knight, he's still putting on that pressure. The Paddle Star not even landing, but the Sleepy Trouble Bubble will, and that should be the kill. Following on through, get the shutdown gold, get some more gold into the mid laner's pocket. That is what LGD kind of need to start doing, but still a long road ahead of them.
And now Zoe looking to be the point of strength for this composition. As you said, they need to look to find some picks with her, look to catch members out of position, and she's doing just that right now. And this is the phase of the game where she is the strongest, where she can look to try and catch people out during these lane swaps where people are likely to be caught out alone, with no vision, out of position. And trying to bring LGD back into the game, but it's still a long way back.
And you can see just now, if we take a look at that vision, you can see SNG, they have committed a lot toward this bot lane to try and keep Fury safe during that split push. You do have LGD now trying to get some ward coverage into their top half of the jungle so they don't lose out on this Baron control when that 20-minute mark comes. And actually, that's a flash burned by Emmy. He's very afraid, and Yuki is going to even burn his cleanse. He didn't even get knocked up. Yoon is going to land that taunt, and Fury might be looking for some damage. But here comes PYL. He's going to try and turn this around. Does land the Witcher's Bite, but doesn't get the stun off. Hextech Ultimatum now at the blue buff. Tian does not have a way out of here. Is going to flag drag. He's also going to smite to get some health back. He's going to escape, and that is demoralizing if you're on the side of LGD, if you're not able to get a pick like that.
That's been unfortunately the case of this early game. They found a few close plays, but it's been the Suning Gaming collapses have just been a little bit quicker. They've been a little bit cleaner on the macro, and it's punished LGD Gaming on so many occasions.
So now taking a look here, 18 minutes on the clock. You're going to have the second dragon of the game coming up. You're also going to have Baron coming around, and Xiaoal, he doesn't even care about the tower. He is looking for the dive. This Jax now has hit his spike, picks up the Trinity Force, and is able to get the solo kill up in top lane.
This is the real break point for the composition where they can get this 4-1 to work.
Oh, look at this! Knight just assassinates him! Fate's Call is also used to just get the knock up. PYL and Imp, they're trapped underneath their tower, and this is just a slaughter so far, this game, to say the very least. You also got a Bork, you got a Runeans completed for Fury. They're also gonna pop the Rift Herald. That's gonna be a second tier tower. That's the 5th one of the game for SNG. More than 11,000 gold ahead before the 20-minute mark.
This is amazing from Suning. They've never been weak anywhere on the map. You can look through the top lane, where it was meant to be a rough early game for the Jax, and covered so well for by TN. You could look at the mid lane, where Zoe was meant to have this mid-game pressure, and it's really been LeBlanc snowballing so hard off of the early game, negated a lot of that pressure. And it's just been so well done with this 4-man death ball teaming up, and now Jax is hitting that break point where he can start 1v1ing the Camille consistently. This 4-1 composition is rolling. They've got to start looking towards Baron now to be able to close out the game.
Well, it's just unfortunate for LGD because they can't really even go into their jungle if they wanted to. They got a couple wards down, but SNG, once they all get back up and start forming, like you mentioned, as a death ball unit around this Baron, they're gonna look to invade, get that vision down, and honestly, someone from LGD is gonna have to check in bot lane. Xiaoal wants to go on forward. They both are gonna get stunned up by their abilities, and it looks like Yuki will be able to get out of there, but he does burn 2 of his summoners. Does have that spell book, so those will be coming back pretty fast, and he's also a Zoe, so you can always pick them up across the map from farming, but that's a bit scary too when the Jax can almost solo down your mid laner in just a pretty much half a combo.
This is the problem with Jax being able to have pressure over the bot lane now, both in the form of vision and wave pressure. It means you have to send multiple members to deal with him, and that's where the 4-man Deathball unit will start to take over the rest of the map, be able to take multiple towers. And this is the real problem for LGD. They can't hold the waves anymore. They can try and wave clear, but they're going to be pressured off of the towers so quickly by the abilities of LeBlanc, Jarvan, and the Kalista.
Now, my big question becomes, can SNG look to clear out the fight? They don't even care about PYL that's right beside him. Hextech Ultimatum is used on Fury, but Fury is able to get the Ren stacks popping. That's going to be a double kill for the Kalista. Knight is going to slow up. MP has nowhere to run. The LeBlanc picks up the kill, and with this minion wave, SNG, they might be looking to finish off this game. Nobody's up for another 30 or so seconds. It's just Yuki and PYL, the Brawl Man. Unfortunately, the Zoe, they can't clear out the waves. And SNG, I was asking, you know, how fast can they close this one out? They're going to do it in record time, just over 21 minutes. Zoe does pick up a kill. Yuki's able to get himself an extra kill onto his score spread, but it doesn't matter. SNG, in dominating fashion, take game one.
And it's the 4-man Deathball unit continuing to find picks. And it ended up being the engage of LGD, the Camille jumping on top of the Kalista, trying to remove her early from the fight, try and find their way back into the game. That cost them dearly. The collapse from Suning Gaming, it led to this really awful team fight that they didn't want to be taking. From there, just running it up mid to end the game.